AFP LLC, we're back again. Let's talk more about the fuel source. On today's AFP LLC, we're going to discuss some of the fuel source, which is going to be the refuse and anything else that other people are getting rid of. Things that can be remanufactured, things that can be changed into new products, and different types of materials that can be basically recycled but remanufactured at the same time. Something similar to like what we do with aluminum cans, but across the board with just about everything and anything that comes in there. Now, one of the main things we're looking for is items that can be burned and turned into decent type of ash, cardboard, paper, wood, and the like. One of the other fuel sources will be from when the people who are in the AFP LLC as fuel processors go out into the wilderness and do land restoration for a week at a time. They will also be bringing back the shrubs, the trees, the branches, and everything else that needs to be cleaned out and not left behind. Some of it will be left behind for the wildlife, but most of it will be brought back to be used as fuel. So what we want to do is be able to bring in the materials from what everybody else calls garbage or waste into the facility and have the fuel processors use their talents to change it into either something that can be used as fuel or something that can be recycled into new materials, say similar to aluminum cans. If we have a bunch of those, you melt them down, turn them into ingots, and then use those ingots to create new cans. Same thing with steel, copper, brass, whatever comes in, it will be remanufactured and reworked. What we want to do is to be able to take a lot of the product and create a landfill similar to the one in Whittier, which I've explained in other videos, and start to get that bladdered in and put materials in there that would be able to decompose and create a great amount of methane so that we can use that as a fuel source for electricity. And also, the products that are coming in that are going to be remanufactured, let's just say that we get a large amount of copper, scrap copper, wires, stuff like that. You know, a lot of that plastic insulation needs to be removed, but the copper can all be remelted back down and changed into new strands of copper, and that copper could be used to create generators. In other words, like with the millwrights, the electricians, welders, etc., the people that are there to rehab off drugs and to get skills and maybe learn how to weld, be electricians, etc. for the trades, they'll actually be building a lot of the generators that are going to be running the power plant. So that when we get the fires burning inside of the incinerators that will heat up the seawater in order to turn the turbines, we will have people to learn every step of that method, as well as being able to service and build the turbines. This will give these people ownership of the power plant, and so they'll have the ability to say, hey, I did that. It'll give them a sense of accomplishment. So with that said, there's going to be many other different departments inside the AgriFilter power plant, which is going to be a remanufacturing plant, on-the-job training facility as well. And with each individual department, I want you to try to get a picture in your mind, use your imaginator again, of what the facility will look like. So this facility should be very large, okay? It's going to have probably, I would say, the size of a small city with all of the amenities of it, as well as the power plant itself being very large, most likely in a circular form, where every aspect of what we're going to do will have its own entrance, so that materials can be remanufactured, so those materials can be separated, and so that it can be moved on to where the fire is going to be created. Now, with the moving fire, what's going to happen is it's going to be going to these different locations and these different departments in different fashions and forms in order to create the usability of the flame or the heat itself. So what you have to imagine is in the electricity that's being made from the generators would be going over to the steel and metals department, where they're going to be able to use electricity to create an arc in order to melt down the steel and create new ingots or rebars or whatever US steel we need from the steel that comes in from people throwing it away. Now, as I went over before, there's a lot of construction sites, a lot of big industries. It's just easier for them to throw out a perfectly good product because it costs more to ship it, store it, and possibly use it at a different time. Besides, it's already been paid for, and it's just overhead that they don't need. So they'll get rid of it, send it to the power plant. Our fuel processors will take it and they'll process it, and use it if it's usable, recycle it if it's recyclable, turn it into fuel if it's burnable, and if not, it could be used in some other way, possibly in the arts. These people are going to have multi-talents, and they're going to be doing a lot of creation. There are going to be a lot of people there in different stages of their rehab and different abilities as far as their stamina and their health. We really do need to improve the Commonwealth by getting these people back on their feet, and an on-the-job training place to go to would be really great for them, as well as for anybody else who wants to get into the careers or get a job or just go someplace to start their life and get some training and be able to enter the workforce and become successful in life, and maybe move to a state or a location where they would prefer to be. When I was younger, I always wished that there was some place that I could go to in order to learn some skills and get a good paying job. And I had went to what is called a Job Corps Center. Now, that was a really great place, and the facility, when you first get there, will be similar to that for the people who are going through orientation and finding out what their role is going to be and giving them opportunity to choose what they want to do in the power plant. Now, at this power plant, there's going to be a lot of administrative positions. There's going to be positions in the cooking industries as well, which I'm very versed in. There will be many opportunities in all kinds of different fields, like mechanic work in order to repair the vehicles that we're going to be using at the facility. It doesn't stop, forklift operation, heavy load equipment operation, the list just goes on and on. So as the facility grows and as the generators are created and the fuel source comes in and it's all being recycled and reused, then what will happen is eventually the amount of electricity will increase as it is produced by the people who are going there. This will reestablish and restore the Commonwealth because we will have skilled trade individuals able to do the work in many different areas of society that we need so bad. Now, with the departments, each department will be individualized, and people will be able to work in many different departments, along with the short work day that they will have of roughly 4 hours, and then maybe 2 hours of some sort of training course, or let's just say that if they're going to get into welding, they'll have to have welding basics, welding principles. So a couple hours of welding principles, and then out to the welding area where they can be exposed to the actual welders and assist in them welding and getting tools, getting supplies, and helping the welders to construct whatever it is they're about to weld. So they'll get hands-on experience and classes and a little bit of on-the-job training, which is always great, and they can continue to achieve goals in that field. Same thing with the electricians. There's going to be people who are very experienced and have a lot of training, professional electricians, and it will be an industrial arena as far as learning. So this type of electrical work is in a larger scale and is in very high demand. Let's just say that the facility is going to have plumbing. There will be a lot of plumbing going on. As a matter of fact, there will be a lot of pipes needing to be used in the fire in order to create a high pressure steam. It'll go to the generators and the turbines. Also, what they will be doing is growing a lot of their own food, just so they can have the experience and the tranquility of being outside working with their hands back to earth type of thing. We want these people to be able to get away from the traditional rat race in the city and to have the cities have the relief of all of these people leaving to another location. It won't be a mass exodus at first, but we will bring in the people that want to go most, and that would be a lot of the people that have become homeless simply because they couldn't make their rent. It isn't because they're hooked on drugs or they don't have the abilities and skills to get back on their feet, that it's just very difficult to obtain the monies that you need to move in with the way the rents and stuff are. So when they show up to the facility, there will be the same type of dorm living and tents outside for people who don't like living indoors too much. A lot of the homeless got used to living outside, and indoors really does kind of bother them. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for them to better themselves, and I think that together we can make this happen. I honestly believe that this is the future of electricity, the future of being able to restore our environment, and to the future of what everybody calls garbage, and it isn't. It's just wasted resources. Now, with the materials that come in, what I'd like for you to understand is the different departments. Let's just say there's a department for plastic. And the plastic comes in and it's all remanufactured, remelted, or chipped up and melted into something like a mold. What we also want to do is maybe use that plastic and turn it into a plastic type of a rebar. What we could do with it is use it as a rebar inside of the concrete that comes into the facility. There's a lot of places that get rid of old concrete. We bring it in, we crush that up. We take the plastic and use that as an impromptu rebar inside of the concrete. And with that concrete, we create, let's just say, large concrete asterisks or large square boxes that are hollow. And we use those as new reefs off of the coast of the ocean, possibly to increase the wildlife there. And we can also use the plastic rebar in molds that can be used for barriers, like you see going down the freeway. Those just sit. They're not structurally integral for anything. They just sit and are barriers. We can make a lot of barriers. So any of this refuse product that comes into the facility would be remanufactured for that purpose. The concrete would go get crushed and reused in different areas, maybe as for sandbag type of packaging, in construction and for fencing, for shoring up stuff, and just for weight, basic ballast. Let's just say that we take some of these asterisks and boxes, and as we put them into, say, a river as a maybe some sort of a blockage to dam up the river slightly to slow down the flow. If it's off the coast on the sea, we can actually use the pylons to create reefs, and on top of those reefs put up piers, and so when the wildlife comes, people will have some place to go and fish, or something like that. Think outside the box. That's what we're doing here. So the departments that we're going to have are going to be various. There's going to be a lot of them, and they're all going to play into each other, and they will all be using some sort of power or fuel or some sort of heat or fire or something else that is being produced at the agri-filter power plant. Now, eventually what I would like to be able to do is get some type of graphics done. I'm thinking of using some AI to create, if not some representatives in picture form, maybe some small edit videos so that we can get a general idea of what is actually going to be taking place. But the facility will be in more of maybe a circular pattern, and it's definitely going to be domed. The amount of smoke that's going to be released will be very minimal. Most of it will be recycled back through, and like similar to a catalytic converter where the wasted fumes will come back into the fire to extinguish it or to be reburned, so that it just goes around in a circle. And as well, with the pipes and the structured flow of these fumes, I have a way of capturing a lot of it in the fashion of a tar that can be scraped out of the pipes, and the pipes can be changed, and the tar can be used for many different things, like asphalt, and like the ash. Crush up the concrete, mix it into the asphalt. We're going to be able to make streets at the agri-filter power plant. Pretty much everything that comes into that facility will be used to create the facility and build it, and to build the surrounding areas. Okay, so we want to look at this as a destination for people to go, a very large on-the-job training school, which has almost every opportunity to learn a trade that's usable and transferable out into society today, as well as the fact that not everybody that goes to the facility is going to ever leave. Some will spend the rest of their life there because they will like it and they'll want to be there. People who are passing their skills on to the next generation and teaching would probably really enjoy teaching people who want to learn this type of, skills, the skill sets that is available. If you look at all the trades, it will be there, as well as, being able to learn more about farming, agriculture, land restoration. It's going to be a universal project. It'll be a universal school. It'll be universally beneficial to every aspect of society, especially helping the Commonwealth be reestablished. Now, what I will do in the next videos is I will go ahead and make a list of the different type of departments, and I will explain exactly what it is that they're going to be doing and how they will be getting the stuff that they're going to be doing it with. So there'll be topics. We'll go over the paper, we'll go over the plastic, we'll go over the glass, we'll go over the metals, we'll go over, let's just say, anything like rubber. I have a great idea to get rid of all of the excess leftover tires, and believe me, in the deserts out in the Arabic nation, I believe it's in Iraq, I'm not sure, there are miles and miles of piles of tires just sitting, getting sunburnt and drying out, rotting in the sun, going to waste. Imagine if they were all able to be used and remanufactured. That's something really great we could do. Rubber is very, very highly in demand when it comes to things that can be done with it when you remanufacture it. So different departments and the different areas that will be used in different methodologies, different methods at the power plant. I think that would be a really good topic to go into so that we can clarify. Something basic, like say, what are we going to do with the glass? Most of it was sand before it became glass. So it could always be crushed back up in sand and used as a sand. Mix it into the concrete. Make bricks out of the concrete and sell concrete bricks to build retaining walls. For decoration in your yard, to build small walls, small concrete walls, barriers, partitions, etc. The glass could also be used to make mosaics. The glass could also be used to make new glass and change those into plates and glasses to drink out of. Maybe window panes for the buildings and the AFP LLC's building area where people will be building their own homes. They'll need windows. They don't need to be brand new. They could be opaque just to let light in. They can make decorations out of it. It could be used a lot of different ways. Glass is very, very reusable. So I'll be explaining those different departments in an overall aspect, not down to the T. But there are a lot of different departments that will be doing everything all at once, and everybody will always be busy. These people will really enjoy being at this facility because it'll be a new experience, it'll be exciting, they'll be saving the environment, saving the planet, helping society. They'll have a title. These people will really enjoy being at the AFP LLC and rehabilitating and getting back out there and living a productive and happy life. So we'll be seeing you in the next AFP LLC video. I've been trying to get these videos out once a week, but my recording devices have had trouble, and I'm out trying to get that resolved. So as soon as I can get that resolved, we'll make sure we get you these videos on a regular basis. Thank you for seeing these videos. Please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next AFP LLC video where we describe departments.